Nice. Okay, that's working.
So
I think there's about 5 seconds latency from what I can tell.
that's pretty okay. I think. I mean, if we stick to the chat, then 5 seconds is absolutely no problem. We at the conference we had about 20 seconds.
Yeah.
We just need to know it.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can set a couple of different ways, and there's one lower latency setting, which is at ultra low settings, but then you're going to miss out on a lot of the quality.
Yeah, I think the latency is no problem.
Cool.
People have to wait for 5 seconds for the questions to being heard.
Everything was going wild. Let me see. Now I'm gonna try and.
Okay, this is here.
Yeah. Okay, so this part is all working.
It's just a shame I don't have an external camera. I have some, but no capturing device right now.
Right. Yeah.
So I need to, if I want to show something at the Sinfonion, I need to move around my laptop. And this is something I'm preparing.
Sure. Let me see. I'm gonna try and grab my external stuff and see if I can actually bring that in.
Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, good news is that the stream seems to be working just fine.
Great. This is really good. Great. Super easy.
Right? Yeah, that makes things quite convenient. Let's have a look. Sweet. Okay, let me just look this up. And this. Let's see.
Fuck.
What's happening?
Too short. Cable too short.
Ah.
I want to move the camera, and for that reason I need to move the whole laptop around.
Let's see. Right, that works.
That's better.
Yeah, that looks good. Awesome. Oh, you have two of them sitting there in the rack.
Yeah, of course. I'm not sure if it's actually necessary, but it's cool to have, and I control many voices. I work with a fixed patch most of the time.
Okay. Yep.
I think it's about 400 or 500 of cables, and there's a bass and two monster cases, and
fantastic.
So I've prepared lots of voices, and simply in order to be mobile, to go to live gigs.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. Yeah, and it's especially with something as particular as this one, then you'll definitely have certain repeats in your patchings anyway. So it makes sense to keep it patched in the setup.
And it's also kind of style. If you use the same patch all the time, then you get used to where which button is and can more train it like an instrument.
True. So actually, could we test something where you can you play a little bit on the system? I'd like to hear the audio quality properly. Nice. I think that's working. It's do you have your speakers on right now in the room?
Yes. The problem is that I do not get the sound of the speakers into the headset.
Right.
That would need another mixer, which I don't have, because this one I need for the input.
Yeah, of course. Yep. Okay.
Is it a problem?
No, I don't think it's a problem. I'm just thinking that I'm not sure whether I'm getting the sound directly right now or if I'm getting it through the headset. But
I can turn down the microphone for a short time so you can check out.
Can we test that?
Microphone.
Yeah. No, so the let's see. Yeah, no, so what I'm hearing right now is nothing. So the sound is indeed coming through your microphone, and it's not coming directly. Oh, I'm not hearing you right now.
Do you hear me again?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Now I hear you. Okay, so
you think the sound is coming from a laptop microphone?
Yeah, it's when you shut down your headset audio, everything cuts out. So it also it's you don't hear the modular system either. So the modular sound that I'm hearing is coming from your headset microphone.
Oops. This is strange. Let me see.
So that's a bit of a routing thing.
The interesting thing is that if at the mixer channel 1 is the microphone, the headset. If I turn that down, I get signal from the music.
Okay.
Let's make another test.
Yeah.
If I pull out this, the music should stop. Still running or stopped?
It's still running.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm hearing it from the headset.
Okay, so it's exactly the same.
Did you check the output setting for the channels where the modular is going to right now? Now I don't hear you anymore.
Do you hear me?
Now
hello,
I hear
hello,
you.
hello.
Yeah, there you are again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's the output settings that you are receiving the modular on your mixer, but the output of the mixer channels are not going to the same output.
Let's now. As I turned off the speakers. Do you hear some music? You don't.
Very, very, very low.
It's just a subwoofer. Okay.
Yeah, fair enough.
So where can I get?
Can you try patching?
It's a problem with the mixer here. It's a problem with the small mixer.
Can you show me the mixer for a second? If you turn the camera.
It's you know this one, the Mix Pre 6. It's actually a field recorder. You know.
Yeah. Fantastic. But then in that case, could it be that you're putting in the modular stereo on channel 3 and 4, right?
I'm going into the auxiliary channel.
Yeah.
And auxiliary microphone in.
Check the auxiliary output settings.
Auxiliary microphone in. Yeah, I've already used this in live setups for my monitoring. You know, so I'm just curious where the level setting is for the auxiliary, because you have 4 knobs for normal inputs.
Mm-hmm.
And for the aux, I cannot find any volume setting. Where is it? Gain 100. It's a headset. It's a headset. Project, no. Inputs, setup. Ambisonics, channel 5, screen channel 6. Aux in mode is microphone. Just choose between line and microphone. This is really strange. The funny thing is that I can see the level, you know, going on. Can you see it here?
Yeah, the level is definitely working. So it's and it is connected right now.
To stop the music, you know.
Device through USB or through.
I fetch it via USB. Maybe it's just fetching channel 1. Could it be the case?
Probably. So on the, I think on that part, you have to make sure that everything is sending out to channel 1 and 2. So even if you have your modular coming in on different inputs, they all should be set to channel 1 and 2.
The point is that this device has several USB audio streams. It offers several streams.
Right.
So maybe this I need to go to the settings of the Mac. Maybe it's just picking up the wrong stream. Just that of channel 1, probably. Let's see. Where is it? Sound. Mix Pre 6. It just shows one device, which is. But also on Mac, I see the input level. It's definitely showing music.
Interesting.
This is really interesting. But you get the audio now via let's see. I'm muted, okay.
Yeah.
Camera mic, settings, audio, default. Let me see. It's interesting. If I in the StreamYard, you just interesting. It just picks up this first channel here. And they use as a, you know, the mic setting. I can there's just one end with the Mix Pre 6, and it just select this. It just goes to channel 1. Let's start Logic. Or maybe I just reboot.
Let me see. Can you hear me still now? Let's have a look. Right.
Thanks.
Hello. Yes.
I was backstage. I
Right.
don't think this helps. I need to think of something different. Put the modular in here. Can we make another test with the audio? You hear me now?
Sure.
So I switch over the microphone from 1 to channel 2. Can you still hear me? Can you hear me?
I can still hear you. Yeah.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now I can't hear you. No.
You guessed the right question.
Yep.
So.
Nope. Can't hear you anymore. Right now. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Yeah.
Just so channel 1 and 2 is basically mixed, used as a stereo sum for this USB stream. This is also the explanation why I'm on the right side.
That makes sense.
Probably I switch over to the if I change it here.
But actually, you're still ever since you switched over to this setup, I was able to hear you in stereo. So here the mic is actually coming out, perfectly well into the left and the right side.
Yeah, because 1 and 2 is panned to the center here.
Ah, okay, right.
Inputs. I could change it, but I think it's safer that way.
Oh, but in that case, if you were willing to go mono out of your modular, you could patch in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just let me fetch a cable.
Let's have a look.
Test.
That sounds good.
Okay.
That's sounding very good.
The only problem is, okay, so I get the right channel, you get the left channel.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Yeah.
My stereo image is not so wide, so I think for this, I need to check this out when I have time with the mixer someday, some bright day.
Yeah, it's probably a very simple thing where you just there should be something like an internal mixer setting somewhere where you can select the output channels, because usually with these devices they just send linearly channel 3 and 4 go to output channel 3 and 4, unless you select channel 1 and 2 or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think it's probably somewhere in there. There should be just a setting where you can reroute the output settings. You're muted right now. Yep, you're muted. I see your microphone is muted.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're muted again. Weird. Yeah, it's.
If I change something here in the device, it's mute. Basic menu, basic advanced. I think I check this out when I have some time.
Sure, that's all good. I mean, if in the worst case, we're just gonna have a mono feed.
Yeah. Is it still working?
Yeah, this is working just fine.
Yeah, then we have some setting that works, and maybe I can check this out and improve it meanwhile.
Yep.
So
yeah, that works.
Don't need to waste your time with it.
It's we'll make it work. It's something that I have to figure out now, is how I'm gonna get your stream audio on my headset, because right now I'm listening to you on my laptop speakers, and using my headset to actually talk back.
Yeah, I have the same problem. I the headset, I don't have my music.
Right.
So
yeah, it's a little bit of a complicated routing.
Yeah, more complicated than I expected.
Yeah.
you need two mixers, an input mixer and an output mixer, basically.
Yeah, something like that. That's what it comes down to. So, let me...
And a couple of splitters. Do you know if it's possible to split up an XLR signal, a balanced one?
Should be possible. Yeah, it's and there are split boxes for that where you can do that with. It's let me see. Yeah, there are some dedicated devices for that which you can use. I'm not sure if you can just very easily take like a 1 channel to 2 multiple or something like that, but you can make balance splitters.
Okay.
Yep.
Is it passive? Is it just a?
It could be passive, but I'm not entirely sure. We use them on stage, of course, where you just have like these stage boxes where you send one XLR or jack, usually XLR channel to both the front of house and the mixing desk, or
yes,
or do other things like that.
I could set now, for setting it to the speakers at the same time as to this small mixer here.
Yeah, that but that should also be possible digitally within your laptop settings, I guess, or in your settings.
The problem is I come out from the modular in with 2 XLRs.
Yeah.
And I need to go to the studio boxes at the same time as to the small mixer here. This would be the idea.
Yep. Yeah, let me see.
I just need to know how this is called, this stuff.
Right. Let me see. What's the name again for that? That's basically, if you just look for XLR split box.
XLR splitter, XLR split box.
Yep. Then you get a bunch of stuff for that.
Okay. There's even
there's a few here that I'm seeing right now.
Can I share my screen? Or
Sure,
you? Should be possible, shouldn't it?
Yep. If you right at the bottom, you see next to your cam mic settings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There should be a share screen button.
Okay, share screen. Can you see? Oh, can you see my screen, my mouse pointer?
I think you still have to select when.
Okay, application with the okay, share. There's one. This one. Okay. Can you see this web page from Thomann?
Hang on.
Almost lost permission to capture
No,
your screen. You have no permission. Follow these steps.
Yeah.
Chrome. I don't mind. Don't waste time with it. I find it. I find it. Shouldn't be too hard. Hey, so what shall we do in the workshop actually?
Yeah, let's see. Basically, what I'm thinking is, well, there's two ways to approach it really. Like one could really be that I just pick your brain on things that I'm running into, but I'm kind of thinking that it would make more sense to see if we can, because you have a very awesome already an amazing 5 video series on the Sinfonion, I think.
Yeah.
What would be cool is if we can see if we can kind of go for a quick and easy general startup guide, basically. Like there's a lot of people who really have this thing right now and recently just got it. And then from there on, see how many cool, nifty things we can pick up on within the time that we have, and then take like a half hour or something at the end where we dive into the questions that we receive.
What about a format where you start patching something and we make a live discussion on that? We discuss how we could patch it. You do it, try it out, and if I come up with some ideas, some additional features, we talk about it. Or
I'm thinking more actually. Maybe we should do it the other way around. You take the lead,
okay.
And I break in whenever I feel like, oh, okay, so let me try this, and I will try it on my system, the thing that you're explaining.
But shall I make patch examples, or could you? My problem is a bit. This system is
everything
I can
is
use
super
that
low.
for demonstration. Yeah. It's
true.
Completely pre-patched. You see almost every check is used.
Yeah, no, of course.
I have a separate Sinfonion, but then I have a couple of Sinfonions lying around, but you need stuff, in order to make it.
Yeah, no, of course. Now, what I'll do, I think what I'll do is I'll pre-patch a bunch of voices, but leave the entire Sinfonion blank. So
yes, this sounds good. This sounds good.
Yeah. And then we can just very easily bring in an extra voice and bring in something else. And I'll just make sure that I have a bunch of voices ready to go.
Yeah, this sounds good.
And pre-tuned. And then I'll just bring that on the mixer.
Yeah, then a bunch of CV sources. Maybe you have this Metropolis sequencers couple.
Yeah, I got some Metropolis sequencers. I have the Ear 101. So we can definitely use that. And there's a bunch of questions I have on that field anyway on making sure that all that really works well together, so that you have like sequenced information and quantize it correctly.
Yeah.
In chord modes and stuff like that. But yeah, I really think that if we just do something like that, and you just say like, "Hey, now something you should try out is go here, here, and here," and just walk me through that process while I patch it up.
Yeah, sounds good. Should we try out it? Should we try out it now?
Let me see. Right now, the system is kind of patched up on a couple of other things.
Oh, okay.
But I think we'll make that work. That should really. The only thing that I want to try is if I Let me see. Oh, there's one other thing that I have to try. Can you let me see. Can you talk for me real quick? And I'm gonna listen to the stream output, see if
Okay,
it's
so
going well there.
you think I should talk something so that you can check up? I hear some echo in the background, but I think it's
okay. Going well there.
So you're watching the YouTube stream right now?
Yeah.
Hello, test. I can make some music.
I think it's working.
Fine, nice, good.
Yeah, I think everything is working fine, and it's I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. That's just as easy. I'll just bring in an extra earbud for my laptop output so that I don't have a feedback signal going on, and that way I can hear you fine.
Do you have a camera where we can show the display of the Sinfonion when you go into the menu or something?
That's what I'm gonna try to set up. I fear I have to reset the zoom camera, but if worst comes to worst, then I'll make sure that I have something set up this way.
Yeah, this would be good.
Right?
So that if you go into the menu, for example, there's some cool features with the CVs or with the. Have you used the pods 1 and 2, by the way?
Already? I haven't. No. It's I've basically really only used everything in factory settings so far. So
yeah, okay. These are real fun. Yeah, you can assign any CV function also to the pod if you like.
Nice. Okay.
And if you assign it at the same time to a CV input and the pod, then the pod gets an attenuator for it.
That's fantastic. That's pretty cool.
And there are a couple of interesting CV functions, like chaotic detune, for example. Will detune all voices at the same time at different directions. So it's
serious.
Yeah, you can make total
awesome.
chaos. For example, if you listen here. If I turn this pod, then everything is chaos and.
Oh man. That's super cool.
Yeah, that's nice for total breakdown of everything, and right on the beat, zack, you can switch back to normal voicing.
That's awesome. Oh man,
you can CV it with an envelope. It's also interesting. In one of my videos, I used a slow envelope, so that at the beginning of every fourth bar or so, it goes into this detune and finds back again into the normal tune. Stuff like that.
And can you also do stuff like where you detune everything, like all the individual outputs, but non-chaotic?
Yeah, of course.
In equal setting. So, like, if you take in like a very attenuated LFO, well, of course you can use.
Yes, of course. There's a global CV, which is called. There's an unquantized transposition.
Okay.
This transposition knob is quantized to semitones, but there's an unquantized version of that.
Nice.
So, can you enter the menu? You are already in the menu.
I'm in the menu right
now. In the menu, you have the arrow keys for switching between the menu items.
Yeah.
It's a very shallow shallow menu. It just has one level,
Yeah.
And for the first 4 items are the 4 CV jacks.
Yeah.
And with the plus and minus, you can assign functions to it.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, if you go to CV1 and then press plus a couple of times, then you see all the different CV functions.
Nice. Okay.
And the very last one, for example, is this voltmeter. It's also CV.
Let me see. Voltmeter.
Maybe we can shortly check out this out 4 from the code. Yeah. This.
Let's have a look.
Now press menu again. Then you leave the menu by pressing the menu button again.
Oh wait, that's sequence menu. Yeah.
Now the display turns into a voltage.
Okay, interesting.
And now patch a cable from CV1 to somewhere, and you get a measurement. It's about let's say 1 to 2 millivolts precise.
That is fantastic. Okay, so CV1
is now your voltmeter.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, it's very handy.
Oh, let me see here. Output 4 on the cords.
If it's connected nowhere, if it's hanging in the air, then it shows about 2.3 or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing.
And that's the case for out 4 here. That's what
let me see. 1.9 is what it's showing me.
Oh.
When it's connected to output 4. And if it's connected to output 3, it's showing the same. Huh, that's funny.
So can you connect it? Can you now go to the tuning mode?
Tuning mode?
Yeah, let it connect to output 4 and enter the tuning mode, the tune button. Just press the tune button.
Let me see. Where's the
second one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no! Then shit! The display isn't visible anymore. But go out here and go to press the oct button.
Mm-hmm.
Then this brings you to an alternative page, and each of the channel has some parameters. And the most important is the octave switch. The octave switch is the top left 2 buttons. Yeah, you can switch up and down.
I see it. And that's actually behaving fine.
Oh. That's
funny. Okay, so output 4 is working.
Looks good. I'm just wondering why
everything looks good, really. That's so weird.
That's weird.
Okay, well,
I mean, it was minus 2 volts. This is interesting. Could be the case that your oscillator is pitched so low that you cannot hear anything.
Yep. No, but that's weird. No, so really, it's working fine from what I'm seeing here.
Yes, looks good. I expected it to be hanging in the air or something, or stuck at minus 12 volts.
Something like that. That's what I was expecting too. But I guess. Okay, could be that there was something else wrong on my patch.
Maybe you spoke something about a broken cable or something. Could be the case that one of your multiples stacked multiples has a shortcut with ground or something, or has no connection at all.
Yeah,
something like that.
That could be.
Because then if you plug it into the volt per octave and it's hanging in the air, it could be doing crazy things. Because you switch off the normalization to 0 volts.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really a shame to just have 3 chord output. I think the 4th chord voice is where the fun begins.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm going to give that a try later on, because it could very well be that things are working now, or just working the way they should.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That it's that I just had something else messed up there. And if it's working, then I'm super happy. Then I mean,
if not, then I can send you out another one, and as soon as you receive that, you send me back the broken one.
Ah, cool. Yeah, we'll make it work somehow. It's nice, awesome. Well, basically, I think this way, if we're just gonna spend the 2 hours tomorrow just that way, where we just walk through functions and stuff like that, and you kind of guide it through it, that would be super cool, where you just can kind of show me some of the deeper features and stuff like that, which I wouldn't have thought about at all by just using it. Because the way I usually go with modules is I am very much an intuitive surface user. So when things get too deep, I usually won't find it.
Yeah, of course.
Unless someone shows me. So you can really guide me through the module on a level. You can really treat me as someone who's completely new to the module.
Okay, that's fine.
And we will, and I'll try to get some musical results out of it as we go. And you can just go like, hey, now you should try this, and then we'll just get into that.
Yeah, okay.
And we'll play around with it that way.
Yeah, let's improvise a bit. I think it's most fun for everyone.
Yeah, really. It's and let me see. There's some people who will be joining who don't have the Sinfonion, but who will be very curious to hear some general quantization tricks and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
Don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think that could actually be a very good thing to somewhat incorporate, to kind of see here and there if we can translate certain functions into, like, okay, if you don't have an actual Sinfonion, these are the parts that
Yeah.
kind of
Yes,
make this
it's a good
tick.
Maybe we can start with a single voice and just use the Sinfonion as a single channel quantizer for the first time.
Yeah.
And discuss, for example, triggered and untriggered mode.
Mm-hmm.
It's something most quantizers have a trigger input, just as a Sinfonion. Then it's the question, when should I use the trigger input?
Yeah.
For example, it's a bad idea to use it when you requantize a sequencer, because you most probably will run into timing issues.
Right. Yeah.
Because the trigger happens maybe 5 milliseconds before for example, the Metropolis needs about 5 milliseconds until the pitch arrives, the final destination.
Right. Yeah.
So if you use a trigger, you usually get one note before.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
So, and if you use untriggered mode, then during this 5 milliseconds, the pitch changes a bit, but it doesn't matter anyway.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Things like that, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, that's actually very interesting stuff. And I was also thinking about little things like, I had a very simple patch in mind for people who are using like just regular Dupfer quantizers or something like that. When they're looking to make chord progressions with that.
Oh, that's difficult.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult. But I had a thing in mind where you use 2 Dupfer quantizers, one in major, one in minor, and a sequential switch.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of set your root note and switch between major or minor based on what you have in mind. And it's a little bit of a complicated way of doing.
Yes, I guess it's one of the reasons why I started to invent the Sinfonion, because
exactly.
I also have a jazz background. I play the saxophone, and I'm used to jazz and chord progressions, and so
nice. That's actually, I think that's what I would like to start with tomorrow. Mostly is kind of how you, background on you as a musician, and also how you got to the point where you actually decide, like, you know what, we need a Sinfonion, because I think that that thought process would also be something.
Yeah, maybe.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Because the Sinfonion supports a certain style of making music. A combination. I mean, if you just use sequences, you don't need a Sinfonion. If you pre-sequence everything, so it gives a chance to introduce randomness, but still control it in a musical way.
Nice. Yeah.
So let things happen.
Yeah, that sounds
improvise.
Good.
For example, if you make a melody, most quantizers, most sequences anyway have quantizers built in, or forced to scale, they call it.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes it's easier to create just a sketch of a melody and do not deal with minor and major and the exact scale. Just make a rough idea how the melody moves and evolves, and then use a quantizer in order to bring it to the right scale.
Yeah.
And then you can reuse the melody in different tunes and different settings.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's the way I work with the melodies. Just small parts of melodies, and the Sinfonion enables you at any time of your music making to try something out, and you will never fail. You will never go out of the scale.
Yeah. No, and that's what I kind of like is how it allows you to. Because I got this I received a bunch of questions from a lot of people, like, so what is this? Is this a sequencer and everything? I was like, no, this is not a sequencer or a quantizer in that respect. It feels way more like a global effects processor of sorts, where you have you're kind of terraforming your song in a way where you just set the outer parameters in which your song can behave, and it will kind of help you whip it into shape that way. It's
yes, but just the pitches, it's I think it supports the idea of modular, that pitch and gate is separated.
Yeah, true. True. Do you have plans for something like this on a clock scale?
What do you mean with the clock scale?
Well,
a Sinfonion for clock signals.
Well, it's in a way, yes, because that's the one thing that I'm obsessing over lately. Is I am getting sick and tired of how straight clocks are, basically. And right now I'm kind of working on working out this crazy patch where I can
With this microphasing stuff.
with the microphasing stuff, but also really designing your own swing. Like instead of just having like pulse width modulation swing, you really can introduce your own steps and everything like that. But also with speeding up and slowing down, bringing in and everything to really get almost like a classical conductor into that you get the possibilities of that in your hands.
Interesting.
And also with all the little humanizations effects of it, like having a different group for your bass player than for your drummer. And when you go to like for example, when you're listening to dub music, you have a drummer with a certain feel and a bass player with a slightly different one, but you get
sound a different swing for every voice and stuff.
Exactly, stuff like this. And I really feel that in electronic music, clocks are so under kind of ignored almost.
Yes. Actually, I'm working on a new module which could do that. Maybe
would be super awesome if something like this gets some attention at some point, because I think especially in the context of having a Sinfonion where you have full tonal control now.
Yes.
The other parameter right now is going to be your timing.
Interesting. Actually, I've let me show you what I'm currently working on. Let me see. You see this blinking thing here?
Mm-hmm.
It's actually not blinking now, but it's one. It's a second one here. It's a third one here.
Okay.
And that's basically a generic CV processor.
Interesting.
It's a module with 8 CV inputs, 8 CV outputs.
Yeah.
And you program it with a small SD card where you write kind of patches as a text file.
Nice. Okay.
And so you can think of it solves all the small utility problems, clocking, pitching, slew limiting, mixing. It just cannot process audio. It's
nice.
It's very precise in timing and in voltage. So it has the same high precision ADCs and DACs as the Sinfonion.
Okay.
And it's really super flexible. And then you have these controller modules, as you can see, and you can add as lot as you like to them and assign the buttons. Which button shall have which function.
That's super cool.
So here, for example, here I've made a drum sequencer. Let me see. One second. You see, this is my small.
Oh man, yeah.
For example, here I have. Let's mute that. You see, this is just a 16-step bass drum trigger sequencer. And the nice thing is, you have here the activity knob. If you turn it up, it just does more stuff.
Oh, nice.
And now it's making deterministic random, like a Turing machine. It's repeating the same pattern. Let's make like this. It's always the same pattern. And if I turn this knob, it's going to be chaotic. So always something different.
Nice. Okay.
And this is the same for the snare drum. So if you need more, just turn it up.
Oh, interesting. And then you can completely whip it back into its original pattern, or
It can have it chaotic, deterministic, or for example, if I need everything more, then I have global button for every voice should play more. Or there's some fill knob where every fourth bar something a fill happens. So basically, you can make drum sequence on a higher level. If you want to play drums live, I always use the Circlone, but then it's always very static.
Nice. Yeah. Exactly. That makes sense.
I mean, it's a combination between a trigger sequencer, where you set the steps exactly, and the Turing machine, which brings in randomness in a controlled way.
Right.
So, and if you just have a Turing machine, you get some rhythm, something completely, or the grids, for example. You cannot control what you get. And here I can sketch in a rhythm pattern, can say I want to play exactly that, or give it more freedom.
Nice.
I want to play more, want to play less, and this with hands-on. But this is just one of the circuits in the droid, It's just one of... The next thing what I do is I have this ribbon controller for my... Let me see. I use this Stopfer ribbon controller for playing melodies. If you switch it to unquantized, you can at the Sinfonion you have this bypass switch here in the octave page.
Yeah.
So you can set it to bypass, and then it's like this, of course.
Right. Yeah.
And if I quantize it, and nice. so it's clocked. I have a clock which makes it rhythmic. Then I can with the droid I can control the clock divider. For example, I can say I want it slow, I want it fast, triplets.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Stuff like that. So I use the droid for doing clock stuff and everything. And at the end I map it to a button so I can immediately play with it.
Nice. Super cool.
So it's really space efficient, and the interesting thing is that you can basically create your own instrument.
Yeah. Awesome. I really, really, really like that. This is so it basically feels like a controller designer almost.
Yeah, it's very simple, but it's hard to explain how it feels to work with it.
Yeah.
You also can use it without controllers, just by using the CVs. You can patch a knob into the CV, or you can use it as a sequencer, as a precision adder. You can make envelopes with it. Everything is CV controllable, and then you can add controllers and assign some functions to the knobs and buttons.
Okay.
For example,
how much programming experience would I need if I were to work with something like this?
Oh, it's actually if I could share the screen, then I could show you an example. But it's actually very simple. If you go, let me see. I send you a link to the manual, and then we can have a look at the first couple of pages.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Oh, but I can see how this is going to be super interesting, because people are kind of going to design their entire own flows and workflows with it. And
yes,
probably then, if done correctly, they will start sharing the flows that they come up with.
Yes, the nice thing is that these patches are really very simple.
Yeah.
And you can share them at Muffwiglers or at the forum or anywhere you like.
Oh, that's fantastic. This is kind of like Monome on steroids.
It's also no special software required. You can edit your files. You just need a text editor, and you will be able to edit it in 30 years from now.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool.
It runs on Linux and Windows and everything.
Okay.
And I really do lots of stuff with that. Precision adding, envelope switching matrices. I also control. The coolest thing is the CV looper. I have.
Yeah.
If I play something here.
Yeah.
Let's make a bit background. You see, I have this small button here. I can tell it to repeat the last beat, or maybe the last two. It repeats what I've played, and now I can play with the sound design and something.
Nice.
And the same thing I have for chord progressions. I can make chord progressions with. If I play live, most times I do not use the sequence of the Sinfonion.
Yeah.
But I have one droid here for changing the root note. Let me see. This one, you see. these are 12 buttons for the 12 keys.
Mhm.
And on the bass, I can have here minor, major, stuff like that. For example, let's go to minor, C minor. I switch to E flat minor, and now I enable the CV looper. It's hard to see. It's one of the buttons,
Right.
And then it loops over the chord progression, which I just have live. If you want to live improvise chord progressions, and then this was a cool one, I want to repeat it over and over, then you can do it that way. That's
nice. Yeah.
The other idea is the freeze mode. The freeze mode I built for Mario from Ströme, because he said he wanted to create chord progressions live in his gig. He had an idea for chord progression. And so he made a freeze mode, and then he can program the sequencer. And after that, he releases the freeze mode and plays the new chord progression.
Nice. Yeah.
That's one way to do it. But then during the freeze, the music sticks to one chord, for
right.
example.
Yeah, exactly.
With the CV looper, I can directly type in the progressions and say, this was cool, let's repeat it.
Yeah.
So it's more...
Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually something that I was wondering in the Sinfonion right now is when I'm making certain chords and stuff like that on the fly, the only way I figured out how to kind of prepare a new chunk of chords is by sticking to one. Oh, sorry about that. By kind of looping one, just looping a single chord, and then it sticks on that chord while I'm programming the next chord progression. This is
the only way. So with the freeze mode, you can have it stick.
Yeah.
And prepare a new progression. Yeah. Right. Within the Sinfonion, currently there's no other way. So the freeze mode cannot cycle through another progression.
Yeah.
It really sticks to one chord.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Have you the stuff with the parts A, B, C, and D? With the song parts?
Actually, I haven't played around with the song parts at all yet. Because is it possible to alter a song parts while one song part is playing, or is that?
You cannot alter it, but you can prepare. Every sequence has 4 parts.
Yeah.
And you can switch to another part, and it will switch at that point of time when the first part is at the end.
Okay.
So this is also nice live sessions. You say, let's play. If you have, for example, a progression with 8 chords, you can just say go to part B, then it blinks.
Yeah.
And then when the 8 chords are through, then it goes to B right at the one, of the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can have your head free for the other stuff, because at the chord switch, you probably want to change the voices also, or bring in some voice.
True, definitely. It's It's I'm thinking if that were ever possible in some way, it would be cool to be able to preview a song part, make alterations at the last minute before actually bringing it in while playing a previous song part, and that may be
that's currently not possible. Maybe some future version I will program this. It's not so easy.
Yeah, no, of course. It's
the software is really complex, and I'm really happy that it's, I would say, completely bug-free currently.
Yeah.
Nice. Which is amazing for such a complex module that everything is working, and
of course.
I'm quite happy right now.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's no, but in that case, it's like having 4 chord progressions on your different song parts, because you have 4 song parts, right? That you can.
Yes. You have 16 songs, and each has 4 parts.
Oh wow! So you could even. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so
just switching between songs cannot be done in a program,
fly.
On the fly. Yeah, you can do it on the fly, but then you need very precise timing, yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
And switching the song part is supported by the sequence itself, so it has a very precise timing when it goes to the next part.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
By the way, your audio is stuttering somehow, like every second packet is missing or something.
Oh, that's.
I'm not sure if it's your problem or.
Because you're sounding pretty fine over here.
Maybe I tried reload. Let me try reload, but I think you need to let me in again then.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
still the same.
Still the same?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
weird.
Like your upstream has a problem or something in the internet.
Okay. Let me check, because here everything is looking okay. Let me just listen to it on the. Can you actually listen to it on the YouTube?
No, can you send me a link or something?
Sure.
You had. I forgot. Okay.
Yeah, I think
the
there was-
Discord. Let me check it
Yeah,
out.
so if you cut your mic and just listen to the YouTube stream for a second, see if it's doing the same over there.
1 second.
Because then we can actually see if things.
It's private. This video is private. I cannot.
Oh, you cannot join the video at all. Ah, right.
Yeah, you need. I think you need to change it to hidden or something.
Yeah, right. That's one of those hard things. Let me check something. I'm gonna rely on the delay, on the stream delay for a minute to see if everything's working. So, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Can you hear it in the live stream?
Hang on. Audio. Let's have a look. It definitely does sound like I have a problem going there. Was it like this all the time, or did it happen just now?
It started some 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Okay, weird. Let me see. I'm gonna
try to reset up this.
Yeah, let me see if I can reconnect.
But if you go out, probably I'm kicked out.
Let me see. Yeah, if we let me try it. If I get kicked out, I'm gonna make a new one.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Give me a sec.
Wo ist eigentlich mein Telefon hin?
Let me see if I'm working again. Test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tests 1, 2, 3.
Hello?
Hello.
Perfect. I've just been away for 1 minute, but now it's perfect.
Yeah, it's working again. Okay, cool. Then it.
Nice.
Okay, perfect. Let me see. So anyway, I think that based on what we have right now, tomorrow is going to be super interesting already. It's
absolutely.
There's a ton we can work through, and there's a bunch of already there's a bunch of things that we can talk about right now. So that's going to work out just fine. It's so let's say if we meet up like 10-15 minutes before time, or I'm just going to ping you just to check that everything is working properly.
Would it be okay to make half an hour, that we have some more time for it?
Sure, yeah, of course. Yep, that's fine with me. So 3:30.
Yeah, okay.
And then we
ping
meet
me
up.
On Discord. You ping me on Discord.
I'll ping you on Discord. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And then, maybe meanwhile I get this audio thing running.
Sure. Yep, that sounds good. And then we get a little bit of time to test certain things. And otherwise, we'll just do it the way we're doing it right now. And I think that's going to be fine, really.
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Cool, man.
So
super happy that we're doing this.
And looking forward for tomorrow.
Yeah, man. It's going to be awesome. All right.
Ciao.
Cool. Cheers.